believe in the leadership of Mr. President because he is disciplined and is an upright man.
President Muhammadu Buhari receives Benue elders, promises to bring to book perpetrators of conflicts which led to loss of lives. Wreath laying across the country as a grateful nation remembers fallen heroes.
The problem has a wider regional dimension. So to approach it, we must adopt a multi-dimensional approach.
Ministry of Interior to partner ECOWAS on proliferation of light weapons. And National Assembly set to resume after Christmas and New Year break. Good evening. This is NTA Network News. I am Hawa Shuaibu Galma. Surprised? Well, this is to remind you of the giant strides of the NTA in the past 40 years. I will be on set throughout the week as part of programming for NTA at 40 celebration. But today, Isaac Nkuma will take us through the news. Hello, Isaac.
Thank you, Hawa. Nice to have you back on set and on a familiar turf. We see more of you for the rest of the week. President Muhammadu Buhari is reassuring the government and people of Benue State that all those involved in the conflicts that culminated in loss of lives will be made to face the full wrath of the law. Receiving a delegation of political leaders, traditional rulers and elders of the state led by Governor Samuel Otom, the president, however, called for restraint. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who commiserated with the victims of the attacks as well as the families who lost their loved ones and valuable property, was emphatic that perpetrators of the violent attacks will not escape justice, including any illegally armed militia. He said apart from the order given to the Inspector General of Police to relocate to the state so that lives and property can be effectively secured, the president said the Department of the State Services and other security agencies are also under instruction to fish out all those behind the mayhem for appropriate punishment. President Buhari promised that government has also taken steps towards ameliorating the situation of all the victims as relevant agencies have been tasked to start catering for humanitarian needs. While calling for restraint, the president told the delegation that a process of finding lasting solution to the recurrent farmers-herdsmen conflicts in parts of the country had begun by his administration. As he puts it, I ask you in the name of God, accommodate your countrymen and be assured that I am just as worried and concerned over the unfortunate situation. Leader of the delegation, Governor Samuel Otom, expressed optimism that with the federal government's intervention, lasting solution to the conflicts is in sight.
We believe in the leadership of Mr. President because he is disciplined and is an upright man, and we believe that he will be able to sanction this law. And he did assure us that there is no room for impunity, that he is out to ensure that the oath which he swore to protect lives and property, he will do it, and assured us that he will do everything within his possible to ensure that Benue State lead peacefully and there is no further killings in Benue State.
Present at the meeting were Totif Ochidoma, former Senate President David Mark, and other members of the National and State Assemblies from the state, former Attorney General of the Federation, Michael Andoka, and many other prominent indigents of Benue State. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Vice President Osinbajo says he was shocked by a news report quoting the Benue State Governor Samuel Otom as saying that the office of the Vice President was warned of the severe and inhumane killings by the suspected gunmen in Logo and Guma local government areas of Benue State. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Laulu Akonde, says the Vice President does not believe that Governor Samuel Otom could have said so, stressing that it would be a terrible falsehood to suggest that the Vice President was ever informed by the Governor of the imminent killings of citizens in Benue State. The statement further explains that neither was Governor Tom nor the federal government aware of the impending attacks, and therefore any suggestion that the president or the vice president ignored the state governor's warning is both absolutely false and certainly misleading. And the Benue State Police Command has called on residents of Makudi and other parts of the state not to panic, as the command is doing everything possible to ensure security of lives and property. This assurance is coming against the backdrop of rumors being peddled by miscreants that people are being killed. Elias Etiaf has the situation report.
Makudi, the Benue State capital, was engulfed by a crisis over the weekend that led to reported attacks and destruction of properties. However, normalcy is gradually returning due to concerted efforts by various security agencies and other stakeholders to ensure peace.
We made massive arrests yesterday. Over 40 persons have been arrested who were directly causing these problems. We have them in our custody. A number of them have been identified to be those spearheading the movements have been identified. We have their names. We are going after them.
Makudi Chief Sule Abenga, who appreciated the quick response of security agencies in quelling the crisis, implored people to stop sabotaging peacekeeping efforts of concerned authorities. He therefore appealed for calm in tackling the challenge.
You will imagine that somebody calling from another local government informing me of massacre of police officers, only to find out that he learned from another person, and when you call the other person, he will say he heard from this. So the rumor continues, and it's creating panic. And I said that should stop.
Authorities say adequate surveillance will be placed on affected areas to avert reoccurrence. In Makudi, Elias Etiaf, NTA News.
In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari Sunday evening held a strategic meeting with the Senate President Bukola Saraki and the Speaker of the House of Representatives on the security situation in parts of the country. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has details.
The meeting is in furtherance of President Buhari's strategic engagements with critical stakeholders aimed at finding lasting solutions to the volatile security situation. Lasting about 1 hour, the meeting provided the opportunity for an in-depth review of the steps taken so far by the federal government towards addressing the recurrent farmers-herdsmen conflicts, amongst other challenges of security in parts of the country.
And he's spoken to us about the situation in Benue and what exactly the government is doing in order to bring it under control. But, you know, as leaders, it's not our responsibility to share what the president has briefed us with the media. We have a constituency.
For now, we are resuming on Tuesday. We have the responsibility to brief our colleagues on what we have been briefed, and then from there communicate to the public respectively. What we're all interested, of course, is the unity of the country, peace and stability.
The presiding officers of the National Assembly used the opportunity to commiserate with victims of the conflicts.
We use this opportunity again, send our condolences to the people of Benue State, to the government and entire community for this unfortunate incident. Allah grant them internal peace and continue to ensure that we live in peace and harmony.
As leaders, we will not politicize this. It's not time for passing blame to anyone. We will do everything humanly possible to ensure that we bring not just succor to the people who are affected, but to ensure that we do not experience a relapse into this or a recurrence of this cycle of violence.
Talk to us about the significance of this meeting between the President and the presiding officers of the National Assembly.
It is Mr. President's continued engagement with the legislature on any matter of national significance, because as the President, the legislature is the lawmaking body and he has to brief them on what he's done, and that is what he's just doing, to guide the legislature in taking its decisions.
President Buhari's strategic engagements on national security and stability continues. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, has called for continued peaceful coexistence among Nigerians, irrespective of religious or ethnic affiliations. He emphasized this when he received a delegation from Benue and Nasarawa states, whose mission is to rub minds with the Inspector General towards finding lasting solution to the pockets of crisis in some parts of the country.
One of the requirements of leadership in this country is to say things, act things that unite us as a people. And there is no way one tribe or religion will want to wish its neighbor away.
The Inspector General of Police reiterated the readiness and commitment of the Nigerian police in ensuring peace and the prevention of breakdown of law and order. And still talking security, the Minister of Interior, Abdurrahman Dambazo, has consulted the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to propose an emergency regional conference that will involve the southern member countries to deliberate on issues of cross-border security. The meeting is to forestall farmer-heather clashes threatening national security. Monsieur Damien Dete reports from the ECOWAS Secretariat, Abuja, venue of the meeting.
Recurring clashes between herders and farmers resulting to loss of lives and property. Proliferation of small arms and light weapons into Nigeria due to cross-border activities and issues of transhumance across the ECOWAS states informed the consultation between the Minister of Interior and the ECOWAS Commission.
The problem has a wider regional dimension. So to approach it, we must adopt multi-dimensional approach to it. And of course, in-house here in Nigeria, we are doing everything possible in terms of security of lives and properties.
The aim is for all the ministers of Interior and those of Agriculture from ECOWAS member states to brainstorm and proffer lasting solutions to what appears to be a threat to peace and food security in the region.
And why? But we have a protocol. But the protocol is not respected. In Nigeria, the only countries for ECOWAS, as we have the problem of the rest, the transhumance can become early. And we want to take this conference for February.
Stakeholders from diverse sectors across ECOWAS are expected to come up with resolutions which stipulate the guidelines aimed at ensuring compliance to security and safety of movement within the region. In Abuja, Monsieur Damien Dete, NTA News.
And as a fallout of deliberations to end the farmers-heather clashes, proper regulation of the livestock sector and sensitization of Nigerians to peace have been identified as remedies to ending herdsmen-farmers clashes and the secular violence in the country. Guests on our breakfast program, Good Morning Nigeria, also called for intelligence gathering among security agencies. Kunle Adeyeye reports.
The recent killings in Rivers and Benue states are some of the pockets of violence lately witnessed in the country. The guests described the incessant clashes between herdsmen and farmers as unhealthy for a country that intends to diversify its economy, with agriculture playing a major role. They identified increased demand for land as a major factor that has heightened these clashes and implored the states and local governments to help complement federal government policies designed to resolve the crisis.
The critical issues are known, and they centered around, first, the issue of the feed resources for the animals, the issue of water, and the issue of course, the health of the animals.
The only way we can situate this is to become much more sincere in the efforts we take to be able to address this issue.
The earlier we begin to look at the concept of rangers, there is no way you can allow people to wallow about in the bush without anything. You talk about curfew. Curfew is not observed in the bush. You talk about roadblock. These attacks are incubated in the bush and brought to be implemented in villages.
We partner with communities. That is why we encourage communities to come forward and give us credible, timely information. And as far as I know, there is no information given that does not that we don't extray it and utilize it.
The guests equally want government to focus attention on mitigating the effects of climate change, which has compelled the herdsmen to move down south. In Abuja, Kunle Adeyeye, NTA News.
Still on the matter, President of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria and Archbishop of Jos, Ignatius Kaigama, has urged the federal government to support farmers and herders with incentives to address the crisis between the two groups. In an interview with Priscilla Grumnown in Jos, the Archbishop said instead of the two groups stampeding the nation, government should allocate financial resources that will boost their business and make them major contributors to national economy.
The prelate described the farmers and herders as vital aspects of Nigeria's existence that needed serious attention from the three tiers of government. He said the clashes that usually erupted between the two groups were because government had over time concentrated on oil and neglected the agricultural sector.
The farmers and the herdsmen are very crucial. They are so highly important in the socio-economic environment of Nigeria. We must have a rethink and look at them and see how we can help these groups to improve the economy of Nigeria. I call on our federal government to take this very seriously. I have insisted again and again that we must invest heavily in these vital sectors.
The Archbishop opined that as a nation, we cannot afford to neglect these two groups, urging the federal government to budget huge amounts to ensure that both farmers and herders have all it takes to boost their business.
Let's encourage them, support them, promote them, facilitate their activities, give the farmers the best agricultural implements or tools they need, and give the herdsmen the best environment in which they can graze their animals without interfering in the farmer's farm or the farmer interfering with the herdsman's cattle.
He concluded that if we leave the farmers and herders alone, they cannot find their peace, suggesting that a common ground should be established by government to enhance their mutual interaction. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnown, NTA News. In Jos.
You're watching NTA Network News. Time now to take some messages. The news continues in a moment. To stay with us.
Be the first to create the latest online trends. Be the first to make the news. 4,000 Naira equals 24 gigabytes. Upload over 10,000 pictures. Sell to more people faster than anyone else. 500 Naira equals 2 gigabytes. 10 days of unlimited chatting. Be the first to know. Live on the fast lane and always stay connected to a world on the move. 5,000 Naira equals 30 gigabytes for 100 hours of video calling. Join the data revolution. Get the unfair advantage powered by Glow Data Unmatched and enjoy fast internet like never before. Dial *777#.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
The Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, brings a new lease of life to Nigerian SMEs. SON has put a greater premium on developing standards aimed at improving the exports of the nation's food and cash crops. This explains why we have developed more standards for Nigeria's produce like sesame, cocoa, garri, and more, courtesy our accredited state-of-the-art laboratories. In keeping with the federal government's ease of doing business, SON has simplified its processes and turnaround time for SUNCAP and MANCAP to reduce substandard products and legal arm to prosecute offenders. Join the Standards Organization of Nigeria in ridding our nation of substandard goods due to consistent market surveillance and raids. See something, say something. The Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving life through standards.
Who wants to answer? Mary?
Mary has a toothache.
Oh, I see. And who knows why?
Because the tooth is too big.
No, it might be a hole in her tooth called a cavity. That's why I brush twice a day using Colgate. Imagine this is your tooth and these are food acids that cause cavities. Colgate with calcium and fluoride helps prevent cavities for maximum cavity protection. And now available in a fresh new icy mint gel.
Wow! We want to buy Indomie noodles. 4 packs, please. This is not my Indomie. Please, sir, if it's not Indomie, don't call it Indomie. Sir, the taste is the difference. The difference is in the taste. That's why my brothers, my mommy, my daddy, and I all enjoy our delicious, so very delicious Indomie noodles.
Season's greatest from Indomie. Indomie, tasty nutrition, good for you.
The Office of the Civil Service of the Federation reminds all permanent secretaries and heads of MDAs of the need to upload the structures and IPPIS records on the portal www.verification.ippis.gov.ng as required on or before Friday, 19th January 2018. The submission should include updated nominal roll, list of IPPIS role players in line with template specimen on website. Parastatals and agencies are required to submit the list of established cadres and positions or ranks. Soft copies of information should be forwarded to dippis@ohcsf.gov.ng and dict@ohcsf.gov.ng on or before the deadline. All federal government employees yet to complete their online records update should do so not later than 22nd January 2018. Affected employees are advised to visit the OHCSF official website www.ohcsf.gov.ng to obtain guidelines. Please note that failure of any MDA and or employee to comply will lead to the stoppage of the salary of the entire MDA and or employee on the IPPIS platform. Mrs. Winifred Oyo-Ita, Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, announcer.
Take a good look at our world today and you'll discover something interesting. More and more drivers are choosing mobile motor oils. You see, as engine performance becomes more important than ever, the vehicle owners are coming to expect more from their engine oils. They're demanding more mileage on a single oil change. They're demanding longer-lasting engines and smoother rides. They're demanding the best. And with Mobile, that's what they get. We raised the bar for motor oils with the Mobile Super 1000. And with the Mobile One, we raised it even higher. And because it's made using the most advanced engineering processes, Mobile motor oils leave your engine super clean, increase its durability, and keep it so well protected, it never stops running. So success for you depends on continuous movement. You need engine oil, engineered for that purpose. Mobile, performance at its best.
Make it Mobile.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant. To achieve our creed as we promise, we shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Experience, they say, is the best teacher.
They hold us from the sea. Thank God that we came back home. They should not go there because it's not good. It's a very bad place. So they just my advice. Even now, sir, they are shooting the boat they are going to use to go Italy. May they stop it. Our country is good. Our country is a blessed country. Now I know our country is a blessed country. I know before I for not travel from Nigeria to Libya. I know how much I spent.
Let these personal experiences serve as a lesson to all who would repeat their mistakes. A word is enough for the wise.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Thanks for staying with us on the news. Activities marking this year's Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration were rounded off nationwide with the laying of wreath at the cenotaph of the unknown soldier. President Muhammadu Buhari presided over the colorful ceremony at the National Arcade in Abuja. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the event has as its theme appreciating the contributions of the armed forces in ensuring peace and security.
The Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration is an annual event organized by the federal government to honor the nation's servicemen and women who paid the supreme price during the world and civil wars, various peace support, as well as internal security operations, especially the current fight against terrorism and insurgency. It is also meant to pay tribute to the veterans who are still alive, as well as chart a supportive cause for their well-being and that of the families of the fallen heroes. The climax of the ceremony was a laying of wreath in honor of the unknown soldier by President Muhammadu Buhari, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, presiding officers of the National Assembly, and the Chief Justice of Nigeria, as well as the Ministers of Defense and the FCT. Others include the Chief of Defense Staff, Service Chiefs, and the Inspector General of Police, Doyen of the Diplomatic Corps, Chairman of the Nigerian Legion, as well as the widow of John Alechenu, brave and courageous soldier who died on the front line while fighting the Boko Haram insurgents. Special prayers were then offered for not only the fallen heroes, but also the Nigerian nation and its leaders.
Father, we pray that you will continue to give them and grant them eternal rest. Oh Allah, bless their families and rectify their conditions and unite them with excellent companions. We pray for our political leaders at all levels of governance. Give them your wisdom and a clear vision as they guide us to greater achievements in Nigeria.
A symbolic release of pigeons signifying freedom, unity, peace, and hope for a better future for Nigeria by President Muhammadu Buhari rounded off the celebration. And shortly after overseeing the Remembrance Day activities at the National Arcade, the outgoing commander of the Presidential Guards Brigade, Major General Musa Yusuf, introduced his successor, Brigadier General Umar Musa Tama, to the President. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, different states of the Federation also participated in celebrating Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Joseph Johnson, who compiled the stories from across the country, tells us how the day was observed.
Several nations of the world hold an annual Armed Forces Day in honor of their military forces. In Nigeria, it was celebrated not only at the federal level, but across the states. From Cross River State, Uduaretem reports that the ceremony held at the Cenotaph, Calabar, and it drew attention to the sacrifices of the nation's fallen heroes. Lekong Agbonde in Abeokuta reports that Governor Ibikunle Amosun admonished Nigerians to pursue national peace, integrity, and unity. In Ebonyi State, Ijoma Peter reports that speakers at the event called for improved welfare package for retired soldiers and relatives of the fallen heroes. The call was the same in Kebbi and Katsina states, as reported by Usman Abdullahi and Awal Haliru, respectively. In Asaba, Ifoma Okafo reports that Daltons used the opportunity of the celebration to rekindle prayers for the nation. Laying of wreaths and gunshots were observed in honor of fallen heroes. As the nation celebrates her fallen heroes, issues of their welfare continue to be on the front burner. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Still on the Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration, some members of the families of the nation's fallen heroes have appealed for more support from both the public and private sectors to improve on their living condition. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa, who was at the wreath-laying ceremony for 2018 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration in Abuja, now reports.
The laying of wreath organized by the Ministry of Defense is the climax of activities marking the 2018 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration. As part of the activities, special Jumat prayer, church service, and humanitarian activities were held to honor the dead combatant so that their labor will not be in vain. The programs are also aimed at appreciating those still fighting to ensure Nigeria and Nigerians are secured. With the ongoing clearance of the remnant of Boko Haram, military's presence in about 26 states in the Federation, this year's Armed Forces Remembrance Day is unique. It provides an avenue to reflect on the successes, setback, and examine the welfare of members of the Legion and widows of the nation's fallen heroes.
Like providing shelter. Some of them are not prepared. They don't have shelter for their families. So they are left to go and look for shelter for themselves. So the federal government can actually help by giving them accommodation.
You know, the UN and the World Bank, every year they earmark a number of thousands of buildings. The only equity they want is government give us land, let's build this accommodation for people who are legionnaires.
The Nigerian Legion Poverty Alleviation Scheme is a private sector initiative aimed at complementing government's efforts.
Many of them are on low salaries and they are really not doing much. Now, the personal asset execution scheme is geared towards ensuring they could assess the basic needs that they have and they need.
The widows also advocated for individual support. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
As Nigeria celebrates the 2018 Armed Forces Remembrance Day, the All Progressives Congress, APC, joins Nigeria in the remembrance of all gallant soldiers that fought for the unity and territorial integrity of Nigeria. The party noted that despite some security challenges the nation is currently grappling with, there are many reasons to hail the gallantry and patriotism of the armed forces, particularly degrading Boko Haram in the northeast and the militancy in the Niger Delta. In a statement signed by the National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Bolaji Abdullahi, added that Nigeria has contributed its own fair quota to the resolution of global conflicts. The statement further restates the commitment of the APC under President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration to ensuring that every Nigerian in every part of the country is able to live peacefully and go about their normal daily activities. There will be more reports on the 2018 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration from the zones on tonight's lineup as we go to them. Now, moving on to all the matters, Vice President Osinbajo, on the invitation of Harvard University, Boston, United States, will be delivering the inaugural keynote lecture at the university's Africa Rising course at Harvard Business School on Tuesday, January 16th. The university noted the immense progress that Nigeria has made under the Buhari presidency, including the work of the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, PBEC, which has spearheaded crucial initiatives leading to Nigeria's rise in world economic rankings. During the lecture, Vice President Osinbajo would highlight the progress made by the Buhari administration in improving the country's economy and investment climate. Alongside the president, the vice president has been a strong advocate in the future of a greater Africa and has proffered solutions on how to make the continent work better for its people and the rest of the world. The vice president, who leaves for Boston tonight, is expected back in Abuja on Wednesday. The federal government sustains evacuation of Nigerians from Libya as a result of insecurity and human rights concerns. To this end, 29 indigents of Yobe State have been brought back to the country. The returnees were handed over to their families by the State Emergency Management Agency. Mohammed Musa Askira completes the report.
The returnees, all of whom are from 5 local government areas in the northern parts of the state, were brought back to Yobe from Port Harcourt, Rivers State, by the State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, on the directive of the state governor, Alhaji Ibrahim Gaidam. Among the returnees are 14 from Isfari, 10 from Karaswa, 2 from Guru, 2 from Yunusari, and 1 from Machina local government area of Yobe State. Handing over the men to the representatives of the official in the local government concerned, the State Commissioner of Justice, Barrister Ahmed Mustafa Goneri, told newsmen that the returnees were in Libya for their various legitimate businesses and their coming back was based on the state of insecurity and human rights violation going on in the country.
They are not from the camp. They are people settled in the town doing their legitimate business, but because of the fact that Nigerians are evacuated from Libya, they've discovered that after that evacuation, what is going to be their fate. So they now decided to also come back home.
Answering a question on whether the returnees were properly profiled given the security situations of both countries, the commissioner said security and health profiling were done on them to ensure their safety and they are safe to be integrated into the larger society. Also speaking on the occasion was the Permanent Secretary of the State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, Alhaji Idi Musa Jidawa, who said the agency is ever ready to respond to the humanitarian needs of Yorubians wherever they may be.
So what we can only advise them is, one, if you want to go to pursue a legitimate business, make sure you adhere to the necessary papers. Go legitimate, not as an illegal immigrant.
Some of the returnees who spoke to NTA News narrated their ordeal for the years they spent in Libya, describing it as an experience they never wish to meet again in their lives. Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
And now to the National Assembly. Legislative business officially resumes at the National Assembly Tuesday, 16th of January for budget defenses by ministries, departments and agencies. In anticipation of this, National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunloye reports on what Nigerians can expect as plenary resumes.
Critical issues that have been uppermost in the minds of Nigerians include security, the fuel situation, and the 2018 budget. Senate Leader Ahmed Lawan elaborates on these issues ahead of plenary.
The budget remains so far the most important thing before the National Assembly today. Secondly, there have been a lot of security issues across the country. This, I'm sure, will engage the attention of the Senate.
Meanwhile, Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi has appeared before the Senate Committee on Marine Transport to highlight the ministry's 2017 budget performance and 2018 budget proposals.
Mr. President, in his budget presentation, stated that infrastructure will be the focus for 2018 year. Transportation being an integral part of provision of infrastructure will be key to achieving this.
Port development, the development of deep sea port through EPP agreement has been approved by the Federal Executive Council. But agri deep sea port, this port is to be developed fully through a concession arrangement. All the relevant approvals and guarantees have been secured, and the actual construction work is expected to commence first quarter of 2018.
Similarly, various agencies under the Ministry of Education appeared before the Senate Committee on Education.
After this budget defense, there's something that is missing. That you need to discuss with the committee. Please feel free to reach out to us because we are all working on common aim.
The process continues as plenary resumes on Tuesday, 16th of January. From the National Assembly, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
In the same vein, the House of Representatives is set to resume plenary on Tuesday after 19 days of Christmas and New Year holidays. Members say the passage of the 2018 appropriation bill and legislative intervention in the area of security will be topmost on its agenda. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Unkwo reports.
The National Assembly concluded its 2017 plenary session with the passage of the 2018-2020 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper. That was a major takeoff in the preparation for the consideration of the 2018 budget. As the legislators prepare to reconvene for plenary, the House of Representatives said the 2018 budget scrutiny will engage members.
Nigerians, the president and Nigerians expect expeditious work on the budget, and that's exactly what we are going to do.
A lot of time will be devoted to the quick passage of the budget by the time the House resumes plenary.
As we start tomorrow, the committees are going to soon into action, and so we will do justice to it.
Security lapses, which resulted in killings in some states and disparity in the pump price of petrol across the country, were listed by members as some of the issues that will receive immediate attention.
From my experience in the industry, and I have 40 years experience in the industry, I have known as a fact that the problem of fuel scarcity is supply.
Staff of the National Assembly, the media and security personnel appear ready for commencement of plenary. Usually, when the House of Representatives resumes from break, it takes off with plenary session, but this time, while committee works resumed last week Tuesday, plenary will resume tomorrow. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
We're going over now to our Lagos studio for more on network news with Ademola.
Thank you, Isaac, and welcome to Lagos. As the nation marks this year's Armed Forces Remembrance Day, Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has urged Nigerians to be united and embrace peace as a mechanism for conflict resolution. Tola Adebule completes the story.
The Lagos State Governor, who was represented by his deputy, Dr. Idiat Adebule, at the remembrance of the fallen heroes at the Memorial Arcade, Tafa Balewa Square, urged the citizens to support families of the fallen heroes as they sacrificed their lives for the growth of the nation. Dr. Idiat Adebule also commended the federal government for its immense role in the fight against insecurity in the country.
We would just want to appreciate them. They've been quite supportive. But for them, the kind of peace that we have in Lagos, we may not have it. But I can assure you that the service chiefs in Lagos have been quite very supportive, and we appreciate them, and we urge them not to rest on their hearts, but to continue to do the best that they can do to maintain peace, harmony, and law and order in the state.
The deputy governor later led others to lay the wreath in commemoration of the 2018 Armed Forces Remembrance Day. In Lagos, Tola Adebule, NTA News.
Motorists and commuters plying the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway witnessed a gridlock for several hours today. A truck reportedly rammed into 9 other vehicles as a result of overspeeding. Rotimi Oluwagbemi, who compiled the report, says no life was lost.
The accident involving cars, buses and Federal Road Safety Corps patrol vehicle were said to have been run over by a truck belonging to Dangote Group of Companies. When NTA News arrived at the scene of the accident, the injured victims with several degrees of injuries were said to have been taken to the hospital for treatment. Eyewitnesses gave different accounts of the cause of the accident.
The problem is that I pursued one vehicle, one intercept vehicle. Then the vehicle failed to stop for them. Then as they were struggling to stop the vehicle, a trailer failed brake, and that's how the accident started.
A truck, red truck over there, was coming out from under the bridge, want to enter the express. Then the road safety vehicle now stopped to calm traffic down so that the truck that is coming out of the bridge can enter the express properly.
The sector commander of Federal Safety Corps, Lagos State, spoke on the accident.
A Dangote truck coming from the Bagan axis, whether he lost control, I don't know what happened, but it just rammed over everybody on that queue. And it was a case of a multiple crash. Will hit this one will hit this one, this one will hit this one. It was as they are hitting themselves like that and going. That was how the vehicle in front now hit our own patrol vehicle also. And 2 of our personnel also sustained injury.
Meanwhile, the law enforcement agencies and other security apparatus were seen on ground to ensure free flow of traffic along the Lagos-Ibadan corridor.
You're still watching NTA Network News. We now take a break for some messages, after which the news returns. Stay with us.
This is your playground. Get free 200,000 Naira preloaded on the new Jumbo SIM. Yes, 200,000 Naira. It's massive. Now every SIM is a Jumbo SIM. Get it, use it, flaunt it.
The largest data network. Glow, grandmasters of data.
Hey, great news! Oral-B has just been voted Kudos #1 quality toothpaste of 2017 by you. So even though times are hard, as a mother, you know that Oral-B is good for your family's oral health because they deserve the best. It's great value because it protects you against tooth holes and gum problems that can lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your family's teeth and gives them all-round protection. So remember, protect their future. Oral-B for healthier and stronger teeth in 1 week.
When we all share smiles, give happiness, and make moments, what a beautiful world we will build.
Sedap Supreme Noodles, capturing the tasty goodness. It's the Sedap Supreme Chicken Essence that gives it the truly delicious chicken taste. With real chicken essence. Be Supreme, Nigeria.
Today, Ariel will show you how to save more in these tough times.
Why this powder?
It's pretty good and money is tight.
But Ariel gives better cleaning with less powder.
Impossible.
Come with me.
Spaghetti sauce, chocolate drink.
For these tough stains, I'll need 1, 2.
And just 1 handful of Ariel.
New Ariel gives better stain removal with less powder.
That's real savings. Ariel removes tough stains better in 1 wash.
John is so cranky with this rash.
See, many babies suffering from diaper rash, especially when using cloth or low quality diaper instead of Pampers.
But money is so tight.
It's true, but it's such a waste to spend so much on products to clear diaper rash rather than Pampers with built-in lotion that helps prevent rash and keeps baby dry all night long. Even in tough times, our babies must come first.
Nigerian Pampers, #1 choice of pediatricians.
Welcome back to Abuja. We go straight now to business. Nigeria attracts $6.5 billion investment in 9 months. Details of this and more with Vivian Idekpefo on Business News.
Hello and welcome to Business News. Nigeria is Africa Development Bank's largest shareholder with a portfolio of approximately $6 billion and country operations accounting for 13% of the lender's total portfolio. In recognition of Nigeria's role in supporting international development financing, President Muhammadu Buhari will inaugurate the new office complex of the African Development Bank in Abuja on Thursday, thereby consolidating the country's position position as the bank's largest shareholder. The state-of-the-art Nigeria Country Development Office complex situated in the Central Business District of Abuja is the first permanent structure to be designed and constructed in any regional member country by the bank. And the nation attracted $6.85 billion worth of investment in the first 9 months of 2017. A report from the National Bureau of Statistics revealed that between January and September 2017, about 28 state governors could not attract any form of investment to their states. The report also revealed that none of the 28 states contributed to the entire $6.85 billion that the Federation attracted during the 9-month period. Still on Nigeria's economic performance, the main equity index in Africa's biggest economy surged by 12% this year in dollar terms, bringing it to its highest level since 2008. This means Nigerian stocks are leading the world so far this year. The federal government's efforts at reviving the economy received commendation from investors. The Nigerian Stock Exchange gained 1.7 trillion naira in the first 8 days of trading of the year. From Monday's closing figures, here is a graphics summary. That's business news at this time. The rest of the bulletin continues.
Thank you, Vivian. Let's go over to Enugu for more reports on the news with Chiagono as our guide.
Good evening to Enugu. Good evening. The weekend activities to mark the 2018 Armed Forces Remembrance Day has been climaxed with the laying of wreaths at the cenotaph of the unknown soldier. Ijoma Ugweke reports that it was a solemn moment in Enugu as Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi and other dignitaries paid tribute to the fallen heroes. Michael Okpara Square venue for the laying of wreaths at the foot of the unknown soldier was filled with dignitaries including members of the Nigerian Armed Forces, the judiciary and members of the Legion who came to be part of the celebration.
Without peace, there can never be development. We must live together and must be happy together, and we must always respect the culture and the diversity of our country.
And also a happy day for those members of the armed forces who are still on active service. It is a happy day because today they are being remembered.
It is a clarion call on government, individuals, institutions and public office holders to pay close attention to the welfare of ex-servicemen and ensure unity of the country. The event featured 21 gun salutes in honor of the and the release of pigeons which signifies peace and unity in the country. In Enugu, Ijoma Ugweke, NTA News. Ongoing road reconstruction at the Arera International Market above by the Abia State government has begun to yield a positive result, as traders say it has started attracting people from neighboring countries for commerce. Uchechukwu Onwe has the details.
A visit to Arera International Market shows that road construction work is ongoing at A-Line, Enimba, AME, F-Line, Enimba Road, Medicine Line, Old Timber Road and Free Zone as motorists and pedestrians can now move freely. This is as a result of the importance the Arera International Market contributes in the internally generated revenue of the state, as buyers and traders who do business at the market have continued to shower praises on the efforts of the state government, who have decided to alleviate the sufferings of traders and buyers at the market, especially during the rainy season.
The work at IFABA have brought a lot of upliftment in Arera International Market. You can see people from other side of the country and come inside the market now to buy their things. If this road will be fixed properly, I assure you there will be smooth business in the market.
Also, the drainage system at the market is being scrubbed intensively, while now commute to the Inaugural water scheme. In the interim, work has intensified at the tail end of Fox Road as the contractor are on hand to meet up the stipulated deadline. In Aba, Uchechuku Only, NTA News.
That's it from here, Isaac. Good evening.
Many thanks, Chair Gorno. Time for another break. When we return, sports and weather. Stay with us.
On NTA Tuesday Live this week, security challenges and concerted efforts to cap them, plus issues of irregular migration and Libya returns. What are the matters arising? NTA Tuesday Live promises to be incisive and informative. Join us.
Thanks, Mom, for the pig full cream milk. It's so tasty.
But Dad, you stopped taking milk, remember?
Yes, my darling. But then my loving wife got me the new pig-filled milk, which is low in cholesterol to help me stay healthy.
Dad, you mean my loving mom that gives me pig full cream milk for a stronger body and sharper mind?
Here's to the best wife in the world.
Here's to the best mom in the world.
Mom, see how my dad and brother are fighting over you.
Well, guys, now everyone has a peak. Pig full cream milk and the new pig filled low in cholesterol milk. Enjoy the creamy taste of pig milk, enriched with 28 vitamins and minerals.
Thanks, my dear, for always taking care of the family.
Free your energy. Grab your can of Power Horse from the nearest store.
Thank you.
Glad you stayed. Now sports. Team Morocco win 2018 Armed Forces International Polo Tournament in Abuja as Rafael Nadal progresses